everyone, this is Garrett, and this is Serious Sam, this second encounter. There's a guy over there, and we are in the Tower of Babel, or the Tower of Babel, depending on what your favorite pronunciation is. But I'm gonna call it Babel, because it sounds more logical to me. Anyway, we are here. This is not the hardest level. It has some difficult things, it has some really cool secrets, and I'm gonna take the start pretty slow, because the start of this level, I'm not really familiar with it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm more familiar with the later parts of the level than with the rest, which makes me a little bit scared, I'm not gonna lie. This level is a little bit scary here and there, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But most importantly, I'm just gonna take the start pretty slowly, because there's a bunch of people and they all want me to die, and I don't really want to die, and therefore I will be careful. Now, the first thing to do is to not run forward too quickly. And there is at least one more guy with a rocket launcher somewhere over here, and I cannot for the life of me see him. There he is. But yeah, we have to grab the statue of King, whatever his face is, in this great ceremonial hall. And the moment we move close to that guy spawns. And the thing is, if you move ever so slightly closer, it starts spawning headless kamikazes, and preferably we kill everything else first, because it starts to spawn a fair amount of things. And this is also a level where the laser gun is quite useful. You get a lot of ammo for it, so it is probably one of the weapons we're going to be using the most during this level, just because there is so much ammo, and also because there's so many enemies who are not especially strong against lasers, which is great. It makes this weapon very useful, and this is not a weapon that I use very often, just because I'm not a big fan of the sound it makes, but, you know, you gotta make sacrifices for the greater good, and the greater good is survival. And somehow I haven't taken damage yet, and I feel that that was jinxing it, but I don't care. We're gonna keep on going, and hope for the best, and believe in ourselves. And, well, I think that was actually it. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything left. So we move a little bit closer to the statue of King Tilmon or something. I think it's Tilmon, but I'm honestly not 100% sure. And we shoot at the headless kamikazes who come falling down the hole. And I'm gonna be slightly further away than seems necessary, because, you know, these guys are not too scary. They don't really do a whole lot. But the thing is, after a while, the game's like, this is too easy for someone like this. Let's make it a bit harder. Let's add a red biomechanoid to the equation. And that can be a little scary to be close to. Fortunately, I believe there's only one of them. And it gives us some free access to the statue of King Tilmon. Oh, I came pretty close. I think I said Tilmon, but, you know, one letter. I was reasonably close. Now, before we go on to the door, which we required the statue for, be careful of all the scary things which are lurking about here. Mostly kamikazes. With that I basically mean only kamikazes, but, you know, kamikazes are pretty spooky. That's about it, really. Aside from secret cannonball ammo. It's a secret because it's in the wall. And you might have already heard the big rocket dude standing over there. He's not that big, but he's bigger than the average guy. And that's why I still have some sniper rifle ammo left. I have one bullet left, which, you know, is a nice amount. Oh yeah, and if you try to pick up that armor, that person spawns, and I always forget. And she caught me off guard and was the first one to actually deal damage, but I think I can live with that. Let's just move on and pretend it never happened. So this is the Hall of Cosmos, I think it's called. I'm not 100% sure. I think this is the first time we fight these guys, which are like the Gnars, which are only a head. And they're effectively just the same as any other Gnar, except they can fly. And that mostly just means they don't get stuck when you're just running around here. And they might actually hit you. But if you move around, you'll still basically never get hit by them, because they're Gnars and their attack range is ridiculous. And if you take one step forward, they virtually always miss for some reason, and I'm not 100% sure why, but that's just the case with those enemies. Also, there's a lot. There's quite a lot of the scary dudes with the lasers. Which, you know, is pretty much the only reason why they're actually scary. Because if there's only a couple of them, they just die really quickly. But given the number that are here, it's actually a bit of a nuisance. And I'm actually just clearing out this area first because there is a health power-up waiting for us. And I would like to have max health whenever I can. And whenever I can includes this time. Also going here spawns general nastiness. What? How are you? I forget. These guys take either 2 sniper rifle shots or 4 rockets. Honestly, I'm not sure how damage works in this game, but they seem to be a little bit stronger to rockets than the average bear. But yeah, I think just about everything here is dead. We got a bunch of ammo. There's some armor over there. And now that we're here anyway, might as well grab the secret health power-up. Now, if you walk in front of this power-up, you just get teleported back. Which is convenient because it makes you, gives you a little shortcut on how to get back here. But if you don't have the health yet, you'll just get teleported back as well. And it's a bit unfortunate to have to jump down again. It's quite a distance after all. Also, apparently that guy's here, but also sniper rifle ammo. It's secret ammo because it's there, I guess. I don't know. It just is a secret thing. And it gives us extra points, and therefore it's important because points are all that matters. Now, I think you can actually skip the next area by just jumping over there. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not actually sure if you need a rocket or not, but it doesn't seem very far. So it wouldn't actually surprise me if you could just jump there. But honestly, I'm not 100% sure on how far it is because I never really do that. I quite like this next area, even if it is a bit nasty. And I always forget which side is the entrance. Yeah. And there's quite a lot of enemies with the whole close range variety coming our way, and they're a bit confused about how this elevator works, and they somehow hit it in such a weird way they just miss you entirely if you just keep standing here, which is quite nice. Makes them a bit less scary. Like, this ledge is their downfall, and it's quite amazing if you think about it. However, they're still not friends, so I'm not giving them any credit for their amazingness. I think there's a kamikaze over there, yeah. And I think there's a dude with rockets over there. And I think there's a chainsaw goop coming a boop a doop a doop. And yeah, Nars are never scary. Nars are just, in no situation is a Nar scary, except if they're right in your face when you're trying to shoot a rocket. But the Nar itself is just kind of cute and cuddly. And if I had a stuffed Nar toy, I would be very happy with my life. But alas, that is not where my life has led. Where my life has led, however, is secrets which are not fun. Secrets which are not worth getting at all. And quite frankly, there are better ways of doing this by just getting this secret and then leaving this area immediately, but I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way, which is you shoot a missile in there and then you grab your cannon and then hope you don't take too much damage, because out of these holes spawn a bunch of tiny bulls, and honestly, I can't for the life of me hit those guys with a sniper rifle. I've tried, it failed every time. I know it's possible, but my aim is just not that good because they are really small. So you press both buttons, which spawns that person, who can get really in the way if you're not prepared for it, alongside with that one as well. Because it's the same enemy and it does the same things. But if you're waiting for the elevator to come down and you're fighting these guys and suddenly 2 of those guys are next to you, you feel a little bit unhappy. And I don't really want to feel unhappy, I want to feel super happy. And that's how I'm feeling right now, as we ride this elevator upwards to the land of glory. Oh wait, land of glory, there we go. Also, physics are cool. Like, if you jump up pretty much the moment the elevator stops, but like just before it stops basically, you jump really high for no real apparent reason. Because engines are cool. I think you could do that in like Unreal and stuff as well with ledges like that, and it's pretty sweet. You can actually, just on any sloped area, if you jump very often, you'll jump a lot higher than when you jump on a normal thing. And that's kind of neat. But let's go up. Let's see what that sound was of the enemy who made a sound just now. I think he's over there somewhere, but actually I think, yeah, he's over there. I'm lying to you guys. But this is pretty inconspicuous looking. I don't think anything is going to go wrong here. because we expected it. And therefore we can just grab all this armor without feeling too scared about our futures. Because it was it was somewhat predictable. Also, there's cannonballs over there. We'll get to that. But first, we're going to slide down, grab a chainsaw, and go to the right specifically. And you can see the Nars turn into their head-only counterparts very briefly. It's not much of an animation, but it's an animation, so, you know, have some appreciation. And the reason I'm going to the right instead of the left is because this guy spawns. He only spawns on the right side. And if we're on the right side, he doesn't see us. And it makes him a bit less scary. Now, about those cannonballs I talked about 3 seconds ago. There's a jump out here. It's kind of hard to see. It's a bit easier to see in the HD remake because it's really bright for some reason. And being here gives us the opportunity to grab cannonballs and jump into this teleporter over here before that guy shoots rockets in our face. Because we don't want rockets in our face. And for some reason he always survives that. I'm not really sure why, but he does. But then you shoot like 2 more bullets and he ends. He ceases to exist. And therefore he's not that scary. What is scary is that we're getting this much ammo and a corridor waiting in front of us as well. But fortunately, where there's a corridor, there's a grenade launcher to be used. And this is no exception to that rule. Because there's a bunch of clear skeletons coming across this corridor, and, well, it's not like they can damage us except with their projectiles if we just shoot a whole bunch of grenades in this direction. And quite frankly, I don't know of a better place to use the grenade launcher than corridors like this, because it just takes care of so many enemies at once. And there's a lot less risk of accidentally hitting yourself with the grenades you're shooting. Because that risk is fairly large in pretty much any other situation. And any other situation, you might as well use a rocket launcher or the sniper rifle and you'll feel a lot less safe. And here's the Chamber of the Deities, I believe it's called.
What are you waiting for? A one-liner?
And after a while, it starts to spawn dudes. And more importantly, this room gets dark after a while, so you have to keep shooting that switch over there. It's not the worst darkness mechanic I've ever seen. Most darkness mechanics just keep the room dark all the time, and I hate darkness mechanics. I really do. They're my least favorite mechanic ever added to video games. But this one's not too bad because you can just keep it light pretty much the entire time. You just gotta be careful of all the enemies that spawn here. Because headless kamikazes are jerks. Big jerks. But fortunately our health and armor is quite nice right now, so we don't have much to worry about. And after a while we might as well just start using this gun because it's so nice. One thing to worry about though is that guy. He shoots rockets in our general direction, but fortunately he's actually kind of helpful. Because he's very good at actually taking care of the enemies that are jumping behind you all the time. Just because, well, they're behind you all the time, so who cares, right? And there's some clear skeletons coming our way, but most enemies' eyes are quite glowy. You can actually barely see them if you look carefully, so I'm just being lazy right now. I'm just gonna use this and hope the crosshair doesn't lie to us. Mostly because there's just not that many enemies in this room, so it's not like we were in grave danger or anything. And it gives us some time to rest over here. Because there's no enemies in this room, and it's quite nice. And we get more cells, which is good because we keep using that gun for some reason. It's like we're getting a bunch of ammo for that gun, and I'm using it for that particular reason. And I'm using the minigun because it's basically the best weapon in the game for a lot of situations. Anyway, bunch of enemies here. I'm just gonna kill a lot of them. Most of them are just the purple dudes, and they're not very scary, but I like to take care of them just in case they do get scary for some reason. And let's kill that guy before he hurts a lot. Those guys can hurt. They always do. And someone's shooting bombs at me. That's not nice. And most enemies here can't actually see us while we're standing over here. Except for that one. But that's fine. We don't mind that. I'm gonna grab that armor over there, I think. That seems like a nice thing to do right now. It's not like there's anything waiting for us. Until we go forward here. You can actually skip this spawn over here by just not going through this. It just removes a lot of enemy spawns for some reason. Like that guy I don't think actually spawns all the time. If you just take the route a lot later. If you just fall down and climb up over there. But you know, some extra enemies never hurt. Especially when you're prepared for them. Otherwise they might hurt, I guess. Because they're enemies and stuff. But let's see. I think there's a few more spawns waiting for us right now. Pick this up maybe? 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 Maybe not. Maybe not this time. But that's fine, though. We don't need to kill everyone. That's not a nice sound. That's all the worst sounds at the same time. Because one of those is red, and I don't like the reds. The reds are scary people. And that's the red demon. That was not the red I was talking about. I was talking about the rocket person. Which inevitably is out here somewhere, but I don't know where. That's weird. I could have sworn I heard a red one. I know there's a blue one over there. Waiting for us right now. He's not so bad. The blue ones are nice. They just shoot huggable red lasers. Or blue lasers, rather, which don't really do a whole lot. But the red ones, they're nasty people. They don't like to make friends. They just like shooting people and watching their bits explode all over the place. So this level has a couple of secrets, which I think are really cool. And the way to get them in multiplayer is a lot cooler than in single player. Because there's a thing over there and it explodes if you shoot a rocket at it. The thing is, though, while the secret passage to Egypt is cool, I don't think you can actually destroy things in multiplayer. However, the enemy can. So you can actually get that secret by having one of the red biomechanoids shoot at it. But it's a bit tricky to coordinate people into not killing the enemies sometimes, as you might be able to predict. But if we move a little bit closer, we might die here because this place is always a bit scary to me. If we move a little bit forward, it starts to spawn a bunch of bulls. I don't like the bulls, but it's something we're gonna have to deal with, unfortunately. Shoot it! I wish we could shoot faster than we did, and I'm kind of in a place where I don't want to be right now. Oh god. Because we're stuck on a corpse right now. That's just perfect. And we're really close to a wall right now, which is the worst. But hopefully... Oh no. Oh no 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 no. 5 health. That's great. I'm getting flown all over the place right now. Don't kill me. Oh man. This became a lot more exciting than it needed to be. I think we're in the clear though? No. Like every enemy is scary now because everything can just insta-kill me. But that's fine. I think. I hope. Let's just stay away from stuff for a while. Let's just kill it from a distance. That was not the best way to do it. Basically, I'll just talk about how I would do it normally without ending up with 5 health when I've taken care of this stuff here. Whew. That was interesting. You know, gotta keep life interesting by messing things up. So, normally what I would try to do is to just go through that hole over there. Because you'll just go through this hole and then all the biomechanoids will be coming towards you from this hole and you can just shoot them from a distance and nothing's scary anymore and everything's pretty sweet. But that went a little wrong. I'm gonna say that didn't go quite as planned. And normally I would do this later. Because of reasons. Mostly because we're gonna come out of that right door later on, like the door over there. And normally I would just get that cannon then, just to get it out of the way. And I'm pretty sure you can avoid all these blue robots over here by doing so as well. For some reason, I don't really ever remember them spawning, so I guess they only spawn if you come here after doing the whole shebang of going all the way around. But yeah, that's one way of dealing with your life. I guess I could have just picked up that medkit over there, but I kind of forgot it existed, but it's fine. There's a lot of leniency when it comes to this level. There's some armor there. I'm not going to pick it up just yet, though. That armor is special, but we have a secret passage to Egypt to go to. Because it's Egypt, and, you know, we haven't been there in a while. We're in Rome now, so... Or Babylon, or whichever one of the two. And this is just one of my favorite secrets. If you don't recognize this, it's basically just the last level of Series Sam, the first encounter. And some weird dying animations and explosions and stuff. And Serious Sam is standing over there with his trusty minigun because it's so good. And there's like a spaceship over here hanging on a rope and speakers and all this cool stuff, and just everything is a movie set. And there's a couple things which I really like about this secret. One is that if you kill Serious Sam, let's try and hit him, you explode and die, and the music stops and everything just ends. And I love that about this secret. That's just one of the many things which is cool about it. But in the HD remake, if you shoot this ball over here, it makes this weird horse sound. I don't think it does that in this version, but Oh well, it does bleed, which is pretty interesting. And you can just pretty much destroy everything here. Just destroy the entire set, destroy the lamps. And if you destroy the speakers... is there one more? Yeah, there's one more. The music stops. I don't think it does that in the HD remake though, which I guess is to make up for the... I just killed myself again. Oh jeez, that was not what I had in mind. Well, at least we get to see the whole destruction of the movie set once more. Let's just do it a little bit more careful this time. Because there is some point to all this destruction. Well, not really actually, I just like destroying things. But there is point to some of the destruction, which is if you kill Ugzan over here, which is something you can actually do, spawns another red armor, which is amazing. And if you kill all the enemies by... well, you can just shoot them once. There's a couple of them over here, but it doesn't take too long to kill all of them. I'm just going to do this a little bit carefully by just slowly aiming at all of them one by one, rather than accidentally killing myself again. I'm just going to save the game again before I shoot that bull in case it goes wrong. Is there one more left somewhere? There must be one enemy left somewhere, because otherwise... it should spawn a heart, I think. Maybe it only spawns after you destroy everything? That's interesting. I'm learning things. For some reason, the health power-up's not spawning. Oh, there we go. I guess there was an enemy over here or something, because something was bleeding there, but... very strange. I guess I just missed it, but... either way, we're at pretty good health and armor levels right now. For some reason, that chair bleeds when you shoot it. A lot of stuff bleeds in this room. I quite love it. That secret is probably one of my favorite secrets in the game. It's very silly.